7:38, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Number one, if you listen to the end of the last segment, yes, I do know that the I'm driving is an auto reply from some vehicles. I do know that. That was the whole point. The guy is driving and he is texting me when he shouldn't be because he's obviously driving. That's number one. And number two, Ken, did you know that MAGAT or whatever that is what the Democrats call us?
No, I just figured it out whenever you spelled it.
And Johnny didn't know either. And so I'm gonna ask EJ Haust, who joins us. EJ, I mean, you're probably more in touch with this stuff than I am because I've been called a lot worse than a MAGAT or whatever. Is that a thing? Have you heard of that?
First time I'm hearing it this morning. So
okay.
I feel like I'm pretty in tune with the social media of both MAGA and the other side. So, nope, hadn't heard it before today.
Yep, I hadn't heard it either. And, sticks and stones may break my bones, but Kamalanomics will kill us.
Obviously not very effective.
No, obviously not. It's like, ooh, you got me, called me, whatever. Anyway, moving on. EJ Haust is joining us. I'm a little persnickety because the computers went down in the last segment, and I'm going to be a wreck all day now. So let's talk about the DNC. Yet another night last night, and
I'm watching so that other people don't have to. I'm going to report to you everything I got today.
Thank you very much. And I don't know, give me your first blush on night 3 of the DNC. Sure. Of course, your favorite, Tim Walz, accepted the nomination as the running mate to Kamala Harris.
He was 17 minutes of boring. So, I've been telling you all week long how painfully boring the DNC has been. But I am here to report today that day 3 was not as boring. I can't say it was enjoyable, but it was a tad less boring than days 1 and 2. Primarily, though, not because of Walz. Walz was way late into the evening. They ran behind again for the 3rd night in a row. I bet you a lot of people didn't even stay up for it, certainly on the East Coast. But there was a lot of celebrity star power last night. So Stevie Wonder was there, Oprah, John Legend, Sheena E. Maren Morris was terrible. I was surprised by that. She's isn't she a Tennessee country star?
I believe that she is.
I expected to enjoy her performance, even if you don't, like that these people are supporting the Democrats. Right. I enjoyed the performance by Stevie Wonder and John Legend and things like that. But Maren Morris was not as good as I expected her to be. I was a little disappointed. Honestly, she was, in my opinion, only slightly more entertaining than that female national anthem ensemble you played for us yesterday.
That was pretty bad. I want to play 1 second or like 15 seconds of Tim Walz.
Leaders don't spend all day insulting people and blaming others. Leaders do the work.
So I find it interesting that not only Tim Walz, but others were in their speech yesterday and last night and the day before talking about how, Donald Trump bullies and belittles people all day. Yet they have been bullying and belittling Donald Trump not only since the DNC started, but, really for the past couple of years. And obviously this goes all the way back to 2016. I just find the whole thing rather ironic and hypocritical.
You can find countless videos of Walz bullying and harassing and belittling the people of Minnesota. I mean, not even just through COVID, which was awful. I mean, he blamed us for killing grandmas when he was the one who would put COVID patients in nursing homes. He was the one who, called people names if they didn't want to get the vaccine.
Yep.
He force people, come on. The guy is the bully in chief of Minnesota right now. He's been an awful bully. He called the National Guard nothing but 19-year-old cooks. Like, if that's not bullying and belittling, come on.
Well,
he's got credibility there. And my mom said years ago, this is good advice. If you want to know what the Democrats are doing, listen to what they're accusing the Republicans of doing.
Your mom, obviously a very smart woman. Bill Clinton, as well, was taking the stage yesterday. Here's a little soundbite.
And the only personal vanity I want to assert is I'm still younger than Donald Trump.
So obviously, Bill Clinton, number one, he sounds terrible. He looks worse. And some people said that it's because he's been married to Hillary all these years. But here's the deal. Completely oblivious to the fact that Joe Biden at 81, 82 years old is our current Democrat president.
Yeah, they've already cast Joe Biden aside. I wasn't surprised by that line. They took care of him on night one. Remember, I told you that they put all the people you want to forget on night one. Night two had a couple of memorable things, but night three, they really want you to remember some stuff. That's why Oprah was there, and then tonight, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, like you mentioned earlier, if Taylor Swift comes up on the stage, right? So I thought Clinton was there to remind us of the past. They keep talking about how we're not going back, but all of these speakers, the Obamas, the Clintons, the Oprahs, even for that matter, like, they're all the past. Like, they don't have any new things. They're not bringing any big new ideas to the table. They're just rehashing all of their same old taglines and talking points. So I think that's probably why I find it so boring to watch, is because we've heard all this before. We've been hearing it since, I don't know, the 90s?
EJ Haust joins us on Super Talk 99.7, breaking down the third night of the DNC. Kathy Hochul was a speaker last night, and she was there obviously to bash Donald Trump.
He never had to worry about child care costs or groceries or rent. He never had to worry about anything or anyone but himself. Trust me, America. If you think you're tired of Donald Trump, talk to a New Yorker.
She's a really bad public speaker.
We've had to deal with him for 78 long years. The fraud, the tax dodging, the sham university, the shady charities. We've seen him stiff contractors, rip off workers. He abuses women, brags about it, and then takes away their rights. And New Yorkers are sick of it.
All right, so that is Kathy Hochul. Obviously, I don't know if she was drunk or if that's how she usually speaks, but not real effective, but incredibly personal. And so Donald Trump, I thought this was interesting. Trump is on the campaign trail, EJ, and this is what he said about all of these personal attacks.
I try and be nice to people, but it's a little tough when they get personal. Please, again, remember, please, sir, don't get personal. Talk about policy. Let me ask you about that. We're going to do a free poll. Here are the two questions. Should I get personal? Should I not get personal? Ready? Should I get personal? Should I not get personal? I don't know. My advisors are fired.
So there you go, Donald Trump. He ultimately, by the way, did say that he is going to stick to policy. And honestly, EJ, he's been really good on the campaign trail this week. He has been sticking to policy.
He has, and it hasn't given the media any fodder. Like, they can't change the DNC speeches at the last minute to, bring in something that he said. So staying on message is working really well for him. And I think it's worth noting J.D. Vance is also doing a really phenomenal job staying on message. And boy, is he quick-witted. He's been terrific on the campaign trail and really with the press even more than that. And when they'll ask him a question, he's got a really solid answer and, quick-witted and funny little quips here and there. But I like this side of it. I just don't want him to get low energy. So when the last couple of times he's done these press conferences, Trump is getting a little bit slow, and I don't want that to happen because he is a high energy person. So he can go too far the other direction and lose some of that enthusiasm and appeal that really we all like about him. I do find it interesting that so many people are trashing him and saying things like he doesn't love America or he wants America to fail. Hochul was saying things like that. Plenty of the speakers, lots of like the representatives and governors that come up on stage in between the big names. Mm-hmm. I find that interesting given that the man's tagline, like his campaign tagline is "Make America Great Again." How does that sound like somebody who wants America to fail? Like it's nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense, but they just think if they can keep repeating these lies over and over and over again, it somehow makes it true.
Well, it's so stupid because this is a man who he's a billionaire. He could be spending the rest of his life with his beautiful wife and his amazing children and his incredible grandchildren playing golf at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, if you didn't love America, why would you put your life on the line? As we found out several weeks ago, his life was almost ended by an assassin's bullet. So I think it's fairly obvious that the man, number one, does love America. It is also very obvious that the Democrats, did you hear any real policy last night? I mean, I'm hearing, build up from the bottom, middle out, about the economy, build up the middle class. All of these things that, we've been hearing for years, forgetting about the fact that they've had a Democrat in office for the last 3.5 years, and forget about Obama's 8. I mean, I'm not hearing any real policy when I watch this thing.
Yeah, the closest we got was maybe 2.5 minutes out of Walz's speech saying, Harris will do this and Harris will do that. She's going to make health care cheaper and she's going to do, not any how though.
Right.
Like only these kind of wishful dreams that they've been, again, talking points, throwing down our throats for years now. No real policy how-tos, not saying, hey, this is the way we move forward. This is the thing that we will do. The 2 times, remember, that campaign, the Harris-Walz campaign, has tried to do it. Price controls on food. Nobody liked it. They've backed away from that. They haven't said anything about it in probably a week. I haven't heard much of it at the DNC. And the other was the
$25,000,
which, of course, they took from the Trump campaign. So they don't really have any new ideas. They definitely don't have any positive vision for the future. It's really just like, anger about what the past and kind of barking up wrong trees. Like if you don't like a state law, go to the state.
Right.
That's not a federal thing anymore. So why are we keep hashing this over and over again? Like they just can't let it go.
Well, no, and the reason why they can't let it go is because when you have no substance, the only thing you can do is go for, the insults related to Donald Trump. And so, yeah, you mentioned the price controls, the no tax on tips. There was the $25,000 for a down payment for people, which, by the way, they're doing a version of that in California, kind of a version of that. And there's been a lot of anger in California because they've now expanded that to illegal aliens. And people are, and I tell you what, I still know some people in California, they are ticked. All right, so tonight it's Kamala Harris. It is her big night. It is her big coronation after, finishing. I mean, she didn't get any votes in the primary, obviously, years ago. And then she was installed as the nominee for the Democrats here after they ousted Joe Biden. What do you expect her to say? Is there going to be anything of any substance?
I think she'll say the same rehearsed lines that she's been saying kind of out on the campaign trail. I don't expect anything new or exciting from her. I don't think she has it in her. And I don't think the people that are running the show can trust her with new material, while she accepts the nomination. So very much like Walz's speech, I think it's going to be just more of the same. I think what will be more interesting and more enjoyable, I guess, to watch is going to be all the celebrity star power that's coming in, right? I think they're really trying to play on this, like all the celebrities are with us thing, and they'll just bring in whoever they can. I truly believe that Taylor Swift will, if not in person, perhaps on video, make some sort of an appearance. I could be wrong, but that just seems to be the vibe. And the people at the DNC that I've been talking to, they think that also. So we'll see what happens. I think one really interesting thing that's going to come out of this week that we haven't really mentioned yet are all the people who are undercover that are conservatives that are in disguise.
Yes, Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh, James O'Keefe, Mike Lindell. So I think that will be really fascinating. Like that might be the takeaway from the week when we get a chance to see those videos when they actually drop them. I think it'll be great.
All right, EJ, how can people find you on Twitter?
I'm going to spell it really slow because people were confused yesterday. It's at ERINHAUST, Erin Haust.